Hello everyone, welcome to SGSH Publications. So today we are having Suhani Sharma ma'am with us. Firstly, I would like to congratulate you ma'am for having your book published with us. And आपकी book अब publish हो चुकी है and it is available on all the platforms. So how are you feeling ma'am?
I'm feeling very good. Actually, getting my book published was a dream for me. Like I've always, desired of getting a book published, being a published author. So I feel so good now.
Great, ma'am. So, tell our audience something about your book first. Like, what is it, and what are they going to get inside your book?
Okay, so first revealing about the title, Hiraeth is a Welsh term which means longing for a place like home or a place of belongingness, which have never really existed. So Hiraeth is a story which delves into the journey of the protagonist, Hiraeth, that she tries to seek for home for the all of her life and she never finds one. So it is a mixture of human emotions and complexities that we all face. It is a blend of struggle that people face, but they never raise voice for that. So the whole book is about that.
Great. Very interesting and very amazing, I must say. So, like, as I can see, you are very young. So, I would like to ask you, what do you do? And, like, how did you thought of writing such a complicated and amazing book, I would say?
Actually, I'm a graduation student, undergraduating student, and I'm in my second year. And I started writing this book while I was in class 11. And like I faced something in my life which motivated me to write about these things, and I love to write about human emotions and human psyche. So then I got the idea.
Amazing. So, as you love to talk about human emotions and everything complexities behind them, so I would like to know from you what is being human really for you? Like, what does it mean for you?
Being human actually means to feel.
Okay.
We all decide to go numb sometimes, that we should flip a switch and stop feeling anything, but trust me, it doesn't work. So if you are a human, you should feel everything at your fullest.
Very amazing and very truthful, I must say. Yeah. So, tell me about your journey of writing. Like, how did you start writing? And is it your first book?
Yeah, it is my first book.
Okay.
Actually, while I was in class 10, I had stomach cancer, pre-stage stomach cancer, and I was in hospital and I watched many patients and they were all losing hope. I wanted to do something because I'm very excited and full of enthusiasm, so I couldn't just sit at a place and just wait for death to come and engulf me, or just finding hope कि हाँ ठीक है सब ठीक हो जाएगा. So I decided to write that book from that point, and then I started working on that when I got discharged from my hospital, and that's when I started.
Great. Amazing. So, I mean, you are truly an inspiration. Like, you actually fought the cancer and then you came up so, shining brighter than the brightest of these stars, I would say. So, obviously, I would like to know about your journey because, when you have such situations, obviously, it is a little bit more complicated and uh, thoda bahut because you always have the studies and everything are there. But this is a situation which is not something ordinary. So how did you, worked out at that time? Please tell a little bit.
I Yeah, actually, I spent most of my time in hospital and in a room waiting, and like I didn't have any hope. So at a point, I had a friend who motivated me to do something. I have been writing since I was in class 6, and he motivated me. How can you leave something that you love so much, Suhani? You should write something. You should write something for us. You should write something about me, about yourself. And that's when I decided, and I was thinking about it, and then I got to know about a term, euthanasia. It's illegal in India, but it's a really sensitive topic and it's often known as assisted suicide. So I mixed the journey of cancer patients because it usually happens that people leave them, like their relationship destroy them. their
Yeah.
friends leave them, they feel very alone and all. So that's when I decided to mix euthanasia with the life of a patient to
Okay.
make this journey universal and unique.
Great. Very amazing. Okay, so in what subject you are doing your graduation right now?
I'm a BBA student. I'm doing my BBA in business analytics.
Amazing. So you are a person blended with business mindset as well as the philosophy. So how do you deal with both of these things together?
It's very tough for me to sometimes deal with both the things. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm using my business mind, I cannot be philosophical or emotional. So, same thing impacted a lot on me while I was writing my book because I was writing and I was crying for the character that I'm not doing justice for them, and then I had to control myself. No,
Yeah.
Suhani, it's your book. You have to control yourself in order to make your story good. So it was a bit tough for me.
Great. So
One should have a bit control on their minds.
yeah. Okay. So while writing, I would like to know from you that many people say writing is an art, but then there's also little bit of technicalities that you should know. So how is it about you? Like, how do you think for you writing? What is writing basically?
For me, writing is about penning down everything that's flowing inside my mind as beautifully as I can. So I think that everybody think very beautifully. So they don't have to make it, use very tough words to make it like look like
Yeah.
very professional. No, it's about writing your emotions, it's about writing whatever you feel to make yourself feel good. So when you read your work, if you're feeling good, then it's perfect. You don't have to, go for any other person's opinion. How is my work and how is my work?
Yeah.
If it's giving you satisfaction, then it's fine.
Very amazing and very rightly said, I must say. Okay, so I mean, I would say you're very young and still you think so, I mean, so great. I would say yes. आपकी जो thoughts हैं, they are very different and they are very interesting. So, yes, now I would like to ask you about life. What are your thoughts on life itself?
My thoughts about life are actually, I think we should live very, fully. Like whatever comes to our mind, we should do that. Should not think about society, like what people will say, and we should, please. We should completely live our life according to ourselves. My perspective about living a life is like I used to dance on roads with my best friend. I used to do a lot of things which I like. I don't really look for other people's opinion. So that's how one should live a life. Even after you are completely destroyed, you should not lose hope.
Great. Okay. So tell me, what are your future plans? What have you thought about? Like, what do you want to do in your life?
I want to be a ship charterer and own my own business. And I'm never gonna leave writing. I'm working on more stories. I'll get them published, and that's it. A simple, ordinary life.
Indeed, you are a person with diverse interests, I must say, and all the interests
Yeah.
are तभी बहुत ज़्यादा interesting है. So yes, I definitely wish a very bright future for you ahead. So now I'd like to know that you have written a fiction book, right? Or so like how is
Yeah.
it writing a fiction? How is it it feels? Does it feel like, as you said, you were totally imbibed inside your book while you were writing it, right? So, yes, I would like to know your
Yeah.
experience of this writing.
Okay, so like writing that book was based about completely analyzing human emotions and
Yeah.
how do people feel and what's the worst thing that can happen to a person. I wrote about it. Like इससे बुरा कुछ नहीं हो सकता है. So while writing, I called my best friend and I was telling her कि I'm not doing justice for the character. I'm feeling very bad about it. I can't do that. इतना बुरा कैसे हो सकता है किसी के साथ? So writing fiction is about living that story, but at the same time you have to detach yourself from that story because
Yeah.
you have to make a you have to complete that work. You cannot feel bad for the character. You have to let them suffer in order to
Yeah.
make it good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and the way you told everything, a thought came to my mind just now. So, yes, it is. Like as you said, a writer makes his story, the character, the main character has to sometimes go through some very difficult situations, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But at the end, the writer decides the best for them. So, is it the same with our lives as well? Like, as we expect the God, so, when the stressful conditions or things like that comes into your life, is that how you feel about it? That yes, God has written them also so that you can have a great or a better ending, good ending?
Well, if I talk about my book, so I didn't give it a good ending. Like everything is ending on bad terms. All the characters are suffering. They are gonna die at some point. They are waiting for their death. But the message that I'm giving through it is we shouldn't lose hope. We should control ourselves. We shouldn't lose hope. And in the end, it's gonna be all right. Like हमारे आज के decisions ही हमारा कल decide करेंगे.
Yes.
So,
Okay, great. So, I would like to know from you now, you are a published author, but as a reader as well, like, do you read some books as well?
yeah, I do. I read a lot of books, and my favorite writer is John Gray.
Okay,
I've read his book, The Fault in Our Stars, for like hundreds of times, and I love that book a lot.
amazing.
I live for that book.
Great. Okay. So, tell me, like, you are, I would say, you are a person with very, how do I say? You are a person with very clear thoughts, I must say. So, I would like to ask you, Ki, throughout your life, what are the three greatest learnings you have had till now?
Okay, so the first learning that I had was that no one will ever love you more than your parents.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
second one is I should stop trusting people. And the third one is I should start living more freely.
Okay. That's great, but
Yeah, that's the answers you should expect from a Gen Z teenager.
okay. Yeah, it was very amazing. Okay, I would say. So, now, Suhani, tell me about your daily routine.
It's very simple. Actually, I have joined a job and I'm working at place. So I just get up, I go to my work, I come back, and I do my daily random things. Sometimes I dance on footpath with my best friend. Sometimes we
Okay,
dance in a random cafe. Sometimes I go on solo trips and tell random people random things about myself.
great.
Like I just go at some place and then I tell them that my name is something else. And then I just start living in that thing. So I should share experience with you. I once went
Yeah.
to Kasol and I told a person that my name is Dilbar Randhawa, that my mother was from Pakistan and my father was from Punjab.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, it's really these are a coded story." I said, "Yeah, I know." And my mother loved Hindi literature, so she came to India to study, and then she met my father, and they both decided to study together, and they fell in love, and that's how I am born.
That's
And
amazing.
now I'm writing my next book on this thing.
Great. I must say you're a very interesting personality. Okay. So, like from you, I can hear you love traveling a lot. And so, how is traveling the experience for you? Is it something like many a times I say writing, music, or traveling? All these things are kind of a way to escape the reality. Do you think it is like it?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes when I get, frustrated, very frustrated from my college and from my fellow mates, I just take my bag and go on some solo trip. I don't even ask anyone to join me. I just go there and sit and think about things and I write there. And I have like written my favorite poems and my best poetries on my solo trips. So yeah, it is a way of escapism for me.
Great. So, you mentioned you also do work, right? Job. So I would ask, like, you are just in your graduation. So how did you started, working so early?
Yeah, actually, I like working. Something that I
How
love.
do you like
I
it?
don't want to sit it up. Actually, I like working.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
So I, help my father in his business and I'm having a job because I love working. And I had an interview there for like an hour and I started interviewing the HR at the same time. And then he was
That's
wondering
great.
like, excuse me, I guess it's your interview. I'm like, yeah. So I love yapping, I love working. That's how it's all going.
Great. Okay. So, one more question I have for you, and it is, do you have any message for our audience that you would like to give them?
Yeah, the only message that I would love to give them is never to lose hope and never to trust anyone. And you should not seek home or seek for love in other people. Just try to find it in yourself. And if you like to do something, if you love to do something, and if you think it's perfect for you, then go for it. No matter what other people are saying, no matter what other people are asking you to do, it doesn't matter. Just if you want to do that thing, stay.
Okay. So, before ending this video, I would like to say one thing. I think you would for sure be loving music as well because I can see it resonates a lot with your personality. So, tell me about
Yeah.
your favorite song, and if you can sing one for us, it would be the best. So,
I can't sing actually. I have a throat infection at this
okay,
time.
okay, no issue.
Uh, but I like 90s song, and my favorite song is Aja Piya Tumhe Pyar Do.
Oh,
That's my
amazing.
favorite. Love that song.
Yeah,
I used to
that's
listen to
actually
that
very
song with my
melodious.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to listen to that song with a cup of tea with my mom in the evenings, and we used to talk about things. We always used to play the song. It's my mom's favorite as well.
Okay, amazing. So, at last, I would like to ask you, how was your experience with SGSH publication?
It was good. It was perfect. Everything was done accordingly, and I loved working with SGSH. I'll surely get my another book published with SGSH.
Amazing. Okay, so do you have any suggestion for us so that we can improve our services?
No, everything was fine. I don't think there was something that can be changed.
Okay. It was great interviewing you, and I hope our audience would have enjoyed this interview a lot. And yes, your book is definitely something that everybody should read. So I would urge my audience to read your book and obviously give the reviews about the same. So yes, it was very wonderful interaction with you. Thank you so much for being here on this, podcast. So thank you so much.
Okay, it's
Thank you.
nice